So now let's think about like what are the opportunities for people?
So if you are a first-time buyer, you don't own a home,
Yeah.
I still believe in the long term the prices are going to correct by itself.
Sure.
If you can afford, if your bank say, your mortgage broker say you can buy a property, buy a property. Don't worry about what's going to happen in the next 3 to 6 months because you're already at the high interest rate. So the rates are going to start coming down. So you're going to see a ease in your lifestyle or ease in your budget because the rates are going to come down and things are going to get better. Inflation is going to come down. So first-time home buyers, rent versus owning a home, even the market is like not 100% sure where it's going, it's still a good time to buy.
It's a good time to get your foot in the door because, like, just a lot.
You have options.
Yeah, like I sold a stacked condo townhouse for $1 million. I actually sold it for $1 less than $1 million, so the person can get CMHC financing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that same place right now, I think it would be hard pressed to get $750,000 for it.
Yeah.
And the person that bought it was a first time home buyer, just under $1 million, $1 less than $1 million.
So we also talked about it.
$750,000.
We also talked about it too yesterday, right? So even though his mortgage is $250,000 less, but the monthly payment of carrying a $750,000 is almost equal to what you would have carried $1 million mortgage 3 months back or 6 months back.
So what does that mean? That means that your payment is going to be the same, right? Like
or
right
payments
now,
may be higher,
or maybe a bit higher. But the thing is, your cost of acquisition was $250,000 less, 25% less, 20 to 25% less. I think that amount of savings far outweighs the next 5 years of interest, and it takes away the fear of the prices going out of whack again too.
And
right?
also, if you think about it, if you're on a positive, like if the things will get better, so you are, even if it goes back to the even $900,000, you still made $150,000.
Exactly. So this is a great opportunity, I think, for first-time home buyers to get in the market. And again, the way that we look at real estate, and I think a first-time home buyer should look at real estate as well, is that, you know, maybe it's not their ideal place. When I bought my first place, it wasn't the ideal place for me to be. And maybe this is not going to be the ideal place. This is a foot in the door. This is a way to kind of get into the market. And then grow from there as well. But I say that even if first-time home buyers are going to get in, and I know we're going to get a ton of people making comments here that says, oh, you're a real estate agent. Of course you're telling people to buy houses. If anyone knows us, it's definitely not that way. We're the type of people that walk into people's houses and say, you shouldn't sell it, you should keep it and build a portfolio. So
100%.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is that even though they're first-time home buyers and they're going to buy, right? But you should buy with the idea of being in that property for 5 years, 7 years, like something like that. Like at least 5 years, I think you should be able to see yourself there. You have to look at the payments and say, 5 years, I'm good. My job is good. I like the place. I'm not going to kind of grow out of it or whatever within that time frame. If you're going to be there, I think you're going to be pretty protected.
So just to mention one thing. So you said the $1 million property went down to $750,000.
Yeah.
To lease a property, the lease has gone up. If you want to buy a property like that to live in, probably you would have paid about $3,000 in the rent.
Correct, yeah.
And it's almost same as paying a mortgage payment with the tax and the maintenance. Maybe definitely you're going to pay more. But who is going to give you a $150,000 gain or $100,000 gain in like 5 years?
Exactly.
And also you're paying off the mortgage as well.
Yeah.
So you're still winning.
I think that there's absolutely an opportunity, and the opportunity for first-time home buyers and people to get into this market is that, you know, the other opportunity is to get into the market, but to get into the market in a reasonable location.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that I deal in Durham, obviously. So the thing is that people that couldn't afford in Pickering bought in Ajax, couldn't buy in Ajax, bought in Whitby, couldn't buy in Whitby, bought in Oshawa. Sure. And then we had people move to Bowmanville.
Or Peterborough.
Or whatever else like that. Well, guess what, guys? You can actually come back. You can come back. And not only you're going to buy for cheaper, I think you're going to buy a better location.
100%.
So I think that there's a lot of opportunities here for that. So definitely first-time home buyers, people that are looking to get into the market, I think there is an interesting opportunity. Not to take it lightly, you got to do your research, make sure that you're comfortable. But I think that there is an opportunity here.
If you can afford it, if you think you will not look back.
100%. Other opportunities.
Move-up buyers.
I like that one. Yeah.
They are not really losing anything.
No. You might feel like you are initially when you look at it. Like we sold some townhouses in Pickering for $1.2 million that we're selling for $950 now.
Yeah.
But you look like you lost.
But you also gain of what you're buying as well. And you also have a lot of options. I think that you can actually have a lot of options right now. You can negotiate the price. You can go through the conditional upon financing. You can do your own research. You're not buying, like, The same house you could have buy right now, you would have bought the same house 6 months back without having any option. You would have paid ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah.
So why don't you think back and say, okay, I'm selling and buying. I'm selling low, I'm buying low. Either I'm selling high or I'm buying high. So more buyers, I don't think so. There's nothing to lose. You have more options to buy your dream home right now.
And I did this calculation for another video of mine, and just off the top of my head, I'm going to try to remember the numbers. I think I factored in a 20% depreciation. So it was like a townhouse in Pickering that we sold for like $1.2 million was like $960 right now.
Okay.
And if you were going to buy for like $1.6 million, say in Whitby, a detached double car garage home, that one is probably $1,280 right now. So the difference between the two is $80,000.
Yeah.
So you're actually coming out $80,000 ahead, like net money.
Absolutely.
Sure, your interest rate is going to be higher.
And your
Maybe
payments are
it's-
going to be higher.
Maybe it's not going to be higher either. Maybe you locked into a crazy mortgage and you still got 3
You can
years
port
left
the
on it,
mortgage.
and you're going to port it and move it over.
And
too.
then things will balance it off in 2-3 years when the inflation's kind of get under
Exactly.
control. And maybe you can find a same house with a basement apartment. You can actually make additional income.
Exactly. Yeah. So that means that you can actually end up in a better situation, even financially, if you can kind of have that extra income coming in as well.
Because the basements are running almost $2,000 now.
Yeah, it's like, and talking about rents again too is like, I think the only prediction that we see for rents is that they're just climbing and climbing.
Yeah, that's what happened during tough economical time, right? The rents goes up.
Yeah, and the thing is that the rate's going up, and a lot of the properties that get rented out are owned by individual people, right?
Yeah.
So like Ima and I bought a townhouse from Mattamy as well, right? And when we bought it, we were calculating a 2% interest at that time, okay? 2%. And now I had to change it to 5%. And I'm looking at the net difference there, and it's like $775. So
who pays that? Your tenant.
Well, exactly. The thing is that we went from a projection of $200 positive cash flow to negative $575. What's going to happen there? I was projecting to rent this thing out for $2,500, and now I'm going to want freaking at least $3,000 or $3,200.
At the end of the day, you can write off the interest.
You can write off the interest, but that amount of money I'm going to have to swallow.
Yeah.
So guess what? Everyone's going to think this way, and a lot of people that are going to put up their properties, someone's eventually going to have to give.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, look at the market that we were in, that we're just kind of coming out, the shift in the real estate market itself, okay? So what was happening? The inventory, like when this thing kind of started to happen in February, the inventory started to increase. And what happened? Sellers would basically be able to get 20 offers, 15 offers on the property and dictate what was going to happen over here right now. And when this market changed, they had to keep dropping, and then until buyers started accepting. And now guess what? We've come to a point of where we have kind of flushed out those type of sellers, and now the seller is basically saying, I'm not selling unless I get $1.3 million for my property. So I think that's what's going to happen with rentals too. We're going to jack up the prices on the rentals because of the rate increase as well, and people are eventually going to have to succumb to it. Like if I wanted $2,500 for my townhouse before, now I want $3,000, and you need a place to live. So eventually you're going to have to figure it out.
Yeah.
So I think the rents are going to.
So that's also goes to tell you, even if you're looking to be an investor, it's not a bad time to buy.
That's another opportunity.
Because rents has gone up.
Knock, knock. Right? That's another opportunity.
So it's an opportunity for everyone. It depends on your financial situation.
Yeah.
If you can afford to keep these things, and if you know your budget, if you know what you're getting into for next 5 years at least, if you're on the fence, you can make your right decision.
And look, the stuff that we're talking about over here, again, it's not for everybody. And I would say that this is if you can think long term, and there's two ways of kind of handling, in my opinion, there's two ways of kind of handling what's going on in the market right now. You can look at all of the negative information that's coming out. Sales are slow, prices are down, everything's going to crash, and you can be like, wow, we're so screwed.
Yeah.
That's one way of reacting to it. You know, we're so screwed. I think the way that we're looking at it right now is saying, and I'm not saying that we're going to immediately make this jump, but the way we're looking at it, we're looking back and saying, yeah, agreed. These are the components that are not going so well, but also that change also has to have an effect somewhere else. And that effect that is having, how can we capitalize on that effect of it?
Exactly.
And I think a lot of people actually, if they're thinking in a different way, create a lot of wealth during a downtime. Because I hate to say it, but I think more people are prone to kind of going with a negative mentality than a positive mentality or a positive outlook.
They don't want to take advantage of what's out there.
Exactly.
Sell it, sold. Sell it, sold. Sell it, sold. Sell it, sold.